awake out there? I feel like saying, this is the day the Lord has made. Does that wake you up a little more? Okay. I'm feeling a church feeling here today. Anybody else feeling a church feeling? Maybe not with the nice hats, but I feel like I'm back in church. So it is so great to be here. Mark Morial, we are blessed to have you, but I've been in this political business a long time. I'm feeling like there's somebody who's positioned for some other job. I'm just saying, you know, it seems like he does have politics in his blood, and our nation is looking for bold leaders who will not take no for an answer. So I want to thank Mark, and I also always admire a man or woman who give credit to the spouse and the family, okay? Because these are the rocks that allow us to do what we do. Michelle, thank you and your family. And Tim Murphy, we've met many times over the years in support of this project. Thank you for driving this home and being the leader that this community needed just to see the possibilities, to execute the dreams that others may have had, but you are part of its great success. Let's give another round of applause to our chairman, Tim Murphy. And David Solomon and the many other partners who help with the finances. I help with the finances too, the state of New York. Let me look up my numbers here. $250 million project. We're in for about half, okay? Well, between the housing tax credits, and one day I got a call from Mark after I was here at this really nice topping off ceremony. Saw Tim, saw Mark, and I get a phone call like, hey, you saw where we're going. Can you help us with maybe another 10 million more just to get there? So I'm looking in my pockets, but I'm gonna tell you this. You had me at hello, okay? Yeah, this was a project that is so worthwhile, so meaningful, and is a symbol at this moment in time when people are feeling just sort of depressed about life. Life has been so hard for our people. And just look at what we've had to endure over the last few weeks. I had to put in $100 million more into food banks in communities like Harlem because the federal government that's supposed to use our federal tax dollars to feed people walked away from that responsibility for the first time in history. And I know it's not a political event, but that's not a political statement. It is the truth. So we gather here today at a place where we know people are suffering and anxious about putting food on the table. So this is a symbol that when we pull together and there is an organization like the Urban League behind us, there is no stopping us. We will not be daunted by those challenges from another city far away, because this is Harlem, this is New York, this is New York State, and we're stronger than all of that. So never forget that. Never forget what brought us here. And I'll tell you what, I have a beautiful speech that was written by my staff. I have to just speak from the heart. I want to tell you this. The fact that we're building housing for people, 177 units. This is something my partners and I in government so believe in. I want to recognize Senator Gillibrand, who's here today, and Chuck Schumer. Let's give them a round of applause. Our new mayor, Zoran Mandani, he talks about housing. He believes in this. Yusef Salam, all of us believe we need to build more housing. And we'll get it done. But to know that this project is underway right now with 177 units, you know what that means to people? That there's gonna be families that never knew that they could have the dignity of a beautiful home, a sense of community. As governor, one of the most joyful things I do is to give someone the keys to a home that they never dreamed of. A homeless person in Buffalo just a couple weeks ago, a mom of 4. She cried in my arms and says, I never thought this was possible. That's how we unlock people's dreams and know they have value, because sometimes people feel so overlooked and forgotten. This organization, under leadership of Mark Morial, will never let that happen. So yes, this may be a physical symbol. It is a building, yes indeed, but also captures a spirit of a community that for far too long had been oppressed, but now have the opportunity to rise up and say, we matter, our people matter, and the future for us also matters. We can do this together, can we not, my friends? And that's what's unleashed here today. I also had a little conversation about history with Mark. Now he wants to focus on the cities. And I said, well, there's places around the rest of the state that also are part of the great history. I mean, the Underground Railroad went all the way to upstate New York. Okay, do you guys know where upstate is? I'm just here to remind you. Just here to remind you. That is such a huge point of pride for us, all the way from Rochester. And guess who needs to be recognized in this museum? Frederick Douglass, the one and only Frederick Douglass, whose face is on the walls in the Rochester airport. We made sure that people knew that history. He was the conscience of America, only to be replaced by Reverend Al Sharpton, who's the conscience of America today. Okay. Harriet Tubman, upstate New York, 50 years, but she was pretty busy down in Maryland bringing back the slaves as a tiny young woman who was heart of gold, the heart of a lion. I want those stories told too. Okay, let's make sure we tell the whole New York story so everybody from all over New York feels that their story is being told here as well. We're gonna get that done. We're gonna get that done. Also, we drove past Sylvia's to come here. No, I didn't stop for biscuits again. I wasn't late because of that. Everybody who knows me, that's what I always have to do. But you know who I also miss when we're here in Harlem? Two people who used to meet me there. Charlie Rangel and Hazel Dukes. Okay. We are diminished with their loss. They inspired me, they challenged me. We are great, great friends, and we are lost to them today. But this place, and Mark described all the beautiful places, the vision that went behind this, to think that people can live here and work here and learn history here and celebrate their traditions here, and to be a gathering place for a community and businesses and restaurants and stores. Hey, Trader Joe's coming? Is that true? I mean, it's here. Here, Trader Joe's? Okay, I got some shopping to do. There's been no food in my refrigerator for a long time. But that says this community matters as much as the other communities around the city and the state that have a Trader Joe's. You know what I'm saying here? The people here matter. And that's the kind of businesses I want to attract here, okay? There is no diminishment because this is a community that people for too long overlook. We have risen up. We have met this moment. And I'm so proud to be the governor at this time in history. Well, we'll deal with the challenges from Washington. Because I look around this room and I feel the strength and support of every one of you as we march shoulder to shoulder, soldiers into battle, to take back our cities and let them know that our cities from New York down to New Orleans truly matter. The National Urban League will make sure that it happens from now and into the next 50, 100 years. But never forget, the history of Harlem is so instrumental in giving people something that was coined as Black Pride at a time when people were not feeling the pride. And that is what broke loose. And the rest of America paid attention to this community at that moment in time, and we'll never forget it. Thank you very much for being here today, everybody. Reverend Al, I'm looking forward to your remarks as well. Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you, Harlem. Thank you, New York. And Mark, thanks for bringing us home.